And I have never, ever heard a real nigga say, young lady, what do you bring to the table? Can y'all please stop that goofy shit in 2025? I have never heard a dude with high testosterone ask a woman what you bring to the table. Ever. This conversation I have just heard in 24. I have never ever heard a real nigga say, young lady, what you bring to the table? Nigga, we build tables. What kind of men are y'all? I promise you, this low testosterone level of men that's out here today, I don't know where y'all came from. I ain't never. Look, I got a young cat right now, one of my little YNs. He just bought his woman a Tesla. And all them young cats in his house, I ain't never heard them say none of that. They say where we going out, when we spending money, and how much we gonna spend it. Period. We did it like that. I never heard you goofies till this year, man. Stop that in 2025, man. Y'all making us look real bad. I'm tired of it. I'm tired.
Nobody Webster Style, the lovely Ren back with another Ren's Playtime Corner. Back for the new year. Happy New Year, Ren. I think it's the first
Happy
time
New
we
Year.
actually talked this year outside of
Mm,
texting. You
Right.
have, before we start, you have added to your repertoire. I see or heard that you are now uh, tipping your toe into stand-up comedy. How'd it go?
It was wonderful. It was great. I just wanted to try it, I'm an amateur comedian, as they would say. So yeah, I mean, I like to build a reservoir of different things and try different things. So yeah, it was fun. People laughed. It was cute.
One of the things, we talked a lot last year about all of these internet conversations, which, really we don't see in real life.
Mhm.
But one of the, I guess, sort of phrases that kept being thrown around in these conversations last year was, what do you bring to the table? And a lot of times that conversation was posed from women toward men. And I'll get to at least my reasons why. But before this, you saw this video from this gentleman, older gentleman, who talked about no real ninjas asked what does a woman bring for the table, and he went on with that, and I can't say I don't disagree with him in many respects, but I will say I do understand why during our relationship discourse, excuse me, online discourse, why that phrase was turned out so many times, why that question was asked. Ren, how do you feel about that question?
I think it's the dumbest question to ask because, first of all, um, that's like sounds cocky to me because usually people back that up with like, I got the house, I got the car, I got the money, I got this, I got that. What can you bring into my life? It's like, well, what do you mean? What does that actually mean? Because I have my own place, I have a car, I have my own money, I have things too. So what are we doing here? Like, what are you trying to say? What I bring to the table? Now you can have conversations about people used to just have conversations like, what do you do for a living? What are your goals in life? What are you expecting out of this relationship, this situationship? What are you, not what you bring to the table? Like, I can buy a table and bring it to you. Like, what you mean? I'm a grown ass woman. I got bills to pay. What are you talking about?
Right. I agree with you. I think it's a stupid question to ask, but more so it's stupid because of how, and you and I've talked about this as well, how that online, and I look, ladies and gentlemen, I say online because even though we're not online, our conversations are realistic, real life. Like we live in real situations. And neither one of us are naive enough to think that everything is monolithic. But a lot of these conversations are not conversations that people have in real life, like on the real, maybe in hypothetical. But so much of the relationship discourse leans toward the material. And that's where that what you bring to the table really gets on my nerves. But just like you brought up, like they pose everything from a material aspect. And let me phrase that. not just that, how it's taken, especially when it's posed to a woman, they take it as material. They take it as, oh, I do this, why I bring this, why I bring that. And, we got into the whole conversation, men could care less what your degree is or how much money you make. Most men could care less. But this is where I see why that question is being asked. I see why that question was asked so often because, and this is my perception as a man, especially in these online discourses. Many times when this conversation was had, to quote Kevin Samuels, women threw their dick around. And what I mean by that is they led with their accomplishments. They led with what they had, what they earned, and as if to compare themselves to the man, as far as, oh, this is what I bring to the table. And it's stupid because one, no man is ever looking for that. One. And then two, it's really about complimenting each other. And we watched another video, I might slot that in, where this woman was talking about looking for strength. That's what men look for, looking for strength to complement his own. We talk about nature, nurturing and all that. It's about looking for somebody to complement you in your life and somebody that in some respects, in some aspects, connects those puzzle pieces, but also adds aspects that you don't have in your life. And I think because we often talk about relationships in the material, and I will say this, and this is my personal opinion. I think that our society that is led more so from the ladies because when we talk about that's why I like talking to you because like you see it, but you're like that's not all it's about. But when we talk about protecting and providing, and women are like, oh, that's what man's supposed to do. Many women in these online spaces, in my opinion, go toward the bank account, go toward the house, go toward the car, go toward what he can buy you, and
It
you,
depends
you
what type of woman you trying to pursue. Because I
no, I
know
agree.
a girl that has a boyfriend that don't have no house, no car, not even a driver's license, and she's still claiming him as the boyfriend. So it just depends on the level
Another
of woman
conversation.
you're trying to pursue. Yeah, listen, it's just the level that you trying to pursue. If you want a woman that looks like Kim Kardashian wants a man that makes the same bank account as her. So you looking for these
She
bougie
wants
model
more.
chicks, you or more. Yeah, definitely she want more. But if you're looking for the bougie model chicks, you have to have the bougie model chick money.
You do.
It's levels to this. You
And it's going
have
to be
to be
superficial.
realistic. Yeah, of course.
It's going to be
Because
very superficial.
they're gonna say I got a gym membership, my hair needs to be done every
Hmm.
week, my nails gotta be done every week. I need to wear the nicest, finest clothes. You want me to look good? This is like it's a kid that at my job, she's 20 years old. She was dating somebody at my job, and she said I want $2,000 from her boyfriend at the time. And he's like, $2,000 for what? I need my hair done. I need my nails done. I need this. I need that. But I'm the prize though. Like I'm the model. I look beautiful. You have to pay for all this because this you want me to submit and you want to be the man. Then provide for me then. And then I'm like, dude, if that's what you want, then that's what you have to deal with. If that's not
Run
what you
fast.
want, then you can't break up.
See, that's I would if I had a male friend of mine who was in also a relationship, I would tell him to run because that gets no better. Especially if you think in long term, that is only going to get worse. She's only, and I think that's also where that conversation comes from as well. Why men ask because, again, in these conversations, women in these conversations expect so much from a man, and
Men
when
do the same. It's all
no,
about
no, no,
perception.
no, no, let me finish. Let me finish. No, I agree with you about perception, but they come across as asking so much, but giving in comparative so little. It was I don't know if you remember the larger plus size model or whatever she is that kind of went viral last year talking about he need to pay for my rent, he need to pay for this, he need to pay for that, and people kind of like dogging her because like I mean she's okay looking, but she wasn't all that quote unquote to be demanding that. I don't know how recent this was, but I saw someone sort of analyzing her. She was on with A at the table, whatnot. And the gentleman Rico was kind of alluding to, like, you're asking for all of this. You want a man that has all of this. These are your expectations. What is it that you not you just I forget he was real eloquent with it, but he was really saying, okay, what does the man get for getting, like, what is the reciprocity there? Because in her conversation, and again, this is where I'm coming from with this and why the question asked, I think, so much. It's me, 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 me. I want, I deserve me. It's never, and this is what I'm saying, like when you have real conversations with people about relationships, traditionally it has been very much a two-way street. But in a lot of these conversations, when you hear them, it is me, 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 what I want, what I deserve. I'm the prize, blah, 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 blah. It's such a selfish view of a relationship, especially if these people say that they are looking for something long term. And I listened to the clip I saw and I said, and he made some very good points. He's like, well, you are looking for this, but you're not finding what you want. Looking, having these are your requirements, your diehards. And then even though when he kind of, not saying got her, but he said, okay, well, you were involved with these men. They met your standards. You're not with them. She's like, oh, well, they didn't align with character and what I want and this and that. But he's like, okay, but those things are the most important because clearly this is what you want, but that's your the character in these other aspects are deal breakers. So why don't you look for the most important part in a greater swath of men instead of limiting yourself to these type of men who realistically not all I'm going to want you. And I'm just thinking you're placing the me and what I want and what I deserve and what I desire over what you really want in a relationship. And that's where I hear a lot of these conversations going to. Now, on the flip side with the men, I think some of it is a rebuttal to that. It is a, hey, you're constantly asking, but what do you give? And then what you give, you talk about, like, I hate it when I hear women talk about, I'm not going to cook and clean for no man. I ain't no slave. I'm like, but you want him to do X, Y, Z. And the
Mhm.
fact that you see being an asset to your man and taking care of your man as being his slave, I'm thinking you have a really messed up view of what a relationship is because I'm pretty sure that man doesn't see him taking care of you as him being your slave.
I mean, it's all about really, it's hard for me to say because I don't deal with those issues. Like, I date
I
people,
don't.
grown ass people who have the intelligent capacity to have an intelligent conversation because everyone wants the needs are different. So I can say what you want, and you will like, I want you. What detail of that? What detail? What are you expecting out of this? And be realistic, because I might be a size 10 today and a size 25 down the line. You have to be realistic of the things you are asking, the things you are expecting from people, because things change during time, season, and year. What
Exactly.
we doing today is not what we're probably going to be doing 5 years down the line. We have to figure out what is keeping us together. If you're trying to find the most perfect person in the whole wide world, you are going to be single for the rest of your fucking life, because best believe it do not exist at all. Like, cooking and cleaning should be basic needs at this point. Men know how to even cook and clean at this point. So it's like, what are we talking about here? You got money, I got money. Now, if your money bigger than mine, okay, cool. What does that entails though? So you trying to be my main provider, or you just trying to floss and say, oh, I just got more money than you? What is the point of the conversations of what you bring to the table? Because I work, I pay all these bills by myself. So what you mean? I have a table. What the fuck does that even mean? What in on this table that you what I'm supposed to fucking put down? What is the conversation? Like, people making things difficult. And some people just want to argue just to honestly argue, because we never had these conversations in the early 200 century,
No,
1900 century. We haven't had these conversations. Back in the day, you picked the wife, you picked the husband, y'all got married, Y'all now one item and y'all figured it out down the fucking line. Divorce was not an option back in the day.
Exactly.
It was an option, but it was the last fucking resort. But it's more like, this is who I picked, this is who I wanted to be with. Why we keep building toxic homes and environments, trying to destroy our families based off of these dumb, stupid, bullshit conversations.
Exactly.
I was watching the pop balloon thing recently, and I'm just like, these conversations are so stupid and dumb.
Yes.
What is these conversations really the fuck about? You have a lineup of different people, and y'all honestly basing the situation on appearance at first. So if this person looks good, you just, because if it fits your capacity of attraction,
Right.
then that's just who you're going to pick. Y'all talk and figure out, okay, I have a cat, you have a dog, I have 2 kids, you got 4 kids, this, that. Okay, the conversations are stupid. It's like, at this point, what are we doing here? What are we arguing about? It's even, you want a family dynamic and long lasting longevity, which is sad because the Black community, Puerto Ricans, white people, Indians, Mexicans, they not having these fucking conversations, man. They're not having these. They know what the fuck family is. They know how to hold down the house. They know how to do these things. Why do us always got to argue like, what you do for me? What you do for me? The fuck you mean? Why are we together? And this is what I told somebody. I was on a date yesterday. When I was doing my comedy show yesterday, I was actually on a date too. And I talked to this man because he was telling me about his ex and his child's mother and all this stuff. And I'm like, did you meet her the way she is? Because he was complaining about how he was like, I was the provider protector, but now because we're not together, I'm not doing it as much. And I'm like, you're right. You're only supposed to take care of the kid. And then he was like, well, she's Puerto Rican or whatever. They don't like Black people, blah, blah, blah. He was saying all this stuff, whatever. But I'm like, so you did not know that when you first met her? I mean, she obviously knew you was Black when they first meet. What does that have to do with here or there? You meet the person that you meet. After y'all date and get to know each other, but eventually whatever this facade they trying to put on just to get you eventually fades, and then the real person show up. So now you see the real person. Are you in it or are you leaving? At that point, you have to figure out, am I staying or am I going? It's sad that you people got put on facades, but I guess I get you trying to show your best qualities at first when you first meet a person, but eventually that shit's gonna wear out. And then you're gonna have to deal with the reality. She ain't gonna be wearing her makeup every single day. It's not gonna be the same Brazilian weave that she put on the first date, and all these eyelashes and all these extra shit that she puts on, and the Spanx and all this stuff. She's gonna take that off eventually. Then you're gonna see the real her. I heard one man say that's false advertisement. Best believe you happy that she put on those fake eyelashes, because if you saw her the way she really looks when she home, you would not even talk to her. So yes, we all put on our best face, men and female, just to try to pursue and woo the person we're trying to get. But eventually, you see the signs and the red flags in the beginning, and you ignore them because, like, let me give it a chance, let me give it an opportunity. But it's really you really got to ask yourself, am I willing to put up with this person for the rest of my life, or even 10, 15 years down the line? Am I willing to put up with this person because of this is irritating me and this is irritating me? Those tiny little irritations grow bigger down the line. Just so you know, FYI.
No, I agree. You brought up a couple of great points I want to touch on. That like that person not going to be the same person 10, 15 years down the line. I think that has become more of an issue because of not necessarily the beauty aesthetic, because we are all men and women, not saying like you and I, but in general, society, because of social media, we are constantly inundated by quote unquote baddie, so to speak. And I think that is work's perception of what we want and what we're looking for. And it may, and I was speaking specifically, I mean, especially with the conversation of what you brought up as far as your coworkers. So I know like that's ridiculous. And then conversely, women are very much about provider, and they see a provider as somebody who just spends and buys and whatnot. And the gentleman who we started with, he struck a chord with me because this is something that I don't think is really talked about. It's not being a provider as far as him, this man buying for you and this and that. It's about a mindset as far as him wanting to be in a position to take care of you. And let me explain what I mean by that. So, this year will be year 18 for me as far as being married. When I met my spouse, financially speaking, I believe she was making about 20 grand more than me. Okay. Um, Low, I was like my second job out of grad school, it was whatever, right? The minute I popped the question and we started planning, I started looking for new employment. Not that I was going to automatically make this 20K jump, but it was okay, I'm getting married. I need to be in a position to take care of us if something happens to her salary, or at least be in a better position to take care of us. Within By the time our wedding day, I had secured a new position making $15,000 more than what I was making. There 4 years, went to another job, making how much was I making? Another $15,000 or so. And then by the time we started having kids or whatnot, I was making close to another 30,000. Why? Because I was thinking about her. Even part-time jobs I took things to supplement her income if she wanted to pursue something she wanted to do because the current position she had did not give her days off. So it's one of those things where it's not just like I had the funds, but I had the mindset to be in a position to take care of us and take care of my woman. Whether I succeeded or not, it's all about a mindset and constantly doing it. And I think that's where the conversation is missing. And I love to hear your response. I want to plug up my computer. Keep talking.
Well, that's good that you want to be the traditional husband and wife situation, that you want to be the man of the house, so you want to be the provider. That is a wonderful quality that I hope to meet in my personal life one day. And I met a bunch of decent men who have that same mindset. And that's just where you have to meet people at the level of the mentality that you are in right now. Stop trying to you like my friend, like I told you, she dated a man that don't even have his driver's license, but she keeps talking about complaining like he don't have no job, he don't do this, he don't do that, he just sit
But you're
around. Then
having
why are you with
you're
him?
with him. Right. Exactly. That doesn't
Then
make any sense.
what's the reason? To make yourself feel good because you got
Right.
a job and you doing something with yourself? That's stupid. Because now you arguing saying he lazy bum, but it's like, girl, you picked him though.
You
We
picked him
have
and you're sleeping
choices
with him.
here. Exactly.
Exactly. Look, I'm glad you brought that up because that is something I really hate. I hate the complaining, oh, my man don't do this, don't well, the key part was my man. Why is he your man if this is something you have a problem with? And it's not even I went out to be like, oh, I want to take care of everything. I'm like, no, it was I'm taking on a wife. I wasn't expected to pay everything, but I want to be in a position to take care of her when and if I needed to. And that's what it was. It had nothing about paying all the bills. It's like she is in many respects my responsibility. And I hope that in many ways, like my wife thought that as well. If something happens to me, that she's in a position to take care of me also. That reciprocity. I mean, and she was, but and she did think that way. But I'm saying like that reciprocity and that table conversation, that question that question is born from that reciprocity. What do you do? What
Mm-hmm.
do you bring to a relationship? But it's gotten totally screwed up because everybody always, not everybody, in these online conversations, you and I won't think that way. And even what you said as far as you find people, you look at people who aren't in that mode, it's it always comes down to the material. And I think that is where we we get so, and I swear, we always come back to the same things. We get so wrapped up in the material, not we, so many people get wrapped up in the material of these conversations. What somebody can do for you, what somebody can buy for you. I had a friend of mine who was dating someone, and he saw what was happening. He saw that he was going to get like start getting hit up for, hey, I'm getting short on my rents, or I want to do this, like, or I need some help with this, and blah blah. Like he saw the signs coming and cut off that relationship because that's not what he was about. Like it
Right.
wasn't. Oh, like first of all, why are you having issues paying for your rent? You got in this case, you have alternative means of income by way of your children, and also you work. What's the issue here? And also, as a man, I'm thinking if you are that financially irresponsible that you can't take care of your rent, which is something you know is due every single day, outside of some sort of catastrophe, which in this case wasn't happening, I would question your ability to manage yourself. And based on that, why would I want you as a partner when I don't? You have shown me that you can't manage yourself and your household. That's not attractive. That's not somebody I want to bring into my life. That comes off as a like you're a negative to my life. Is now I'm looking at you, or I'm going to have to treat you as a dependent, not a partner. And much like your friend with the boyfriend, she's treating him like he's a dependent with penis.
Right.
That is
Right.
not something that you want to bring into your life and add to your life with regards to that.
Right.
It's
So it's obviously she just doing it just to feel good about herself in some way or something. Because, like you said, it's a dependent.
yeah,
That's how it's men do the same thing. Men that are well established also pick women that's are dependent because it boosts their ego. It's like, where you going? You got nothing to go nowhere. It makes them feel superior in some form or
I,
fashion.
I would agree and disagree. I think there's some men that do, but I think that the qualities that a lot of men are looking for, especially with that stature, aren't monetary. They're more so someone who's going to be with them, someone's going to genuinely care. And especially super rich, you probably want some eye candy too, so that's a different conversation. But I think that the strengths, and I'll put the other video at the end of this so people get an understanding. The strengths that men look for in a woman to complement them are not tangible. So while you may say, "Oh, they're dependent, this and that," we're not looking for monetary. We're not looking for somebody who can pay their own way or pay or take care of us in the context of
So how about you say what does because I'm gonna say what women want and
uh,
what women expect, and of course this is going to be rare and few in between type of scenarios and situations. But I know what I want out of a man and a husband. So you say what do men want and what men looking for, and I'll say what women want and what
okay.
women look for.
I will say at its core, um, I think mostly that we look for women that in many respects make us feel like men. And what I mean by that is we want somebody who's loving, who's caring, who's affectionate, who is our biggest cheerleader, who has our back, who is empowering, be with. I always have three things, and excuse my language, I always say, and I've added to that system. I used to say I only have three requirements. Um, love me, feed me, fuck me. That was it. Those are my requirements. Now, since I'm older, is love me, feed me, fuck me, respect me. That's it. That is all required. I think that most men requirements are simple, but one of the things that I found, especially getting older, um, is that having a woman by your side that makes you feel like you can do anything, that you have no issues leaving this house and tackling the dragon for her, that is rare. That is absolutely rare based on what I see across the world in our dialogue. And I think that's what most men are looking for. Men are looking for that woman that empowers them. And so that's not a monetary thing. And that is not exactly easy to find.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's hard to find people who genuinely love you and care for you. I recently just met someone that I generally love and care for, that I am submitting naturally,
Okay.
because some people think submission is the complete slave. No, it's actually is caring and
Yeah,
catering without
exactly.
you thinking twice about doing it. And he is showing the same respect and form of submission And that's what love is. That's what
Exactly.
it
Thank
is.
you.
You going to do things naturally without saying these dumbass shit out your fucking mouth. Like, what you mean? If you cooking for yourself, you ain't gonna cook for him either. And y'all not gonna cook for each other, vice versa.
Exactly.
Like, what is going on here? What is these conversations we're having? If he don't know how to cook, then yeah, don't let him in the kitchen. But y'all can't order and take out for the rest of y'all lives because that's kind of weird to me. But if you got money like that, then cool. But no, I go to the grocery store every week because I am not about to. Even groceries are expensive nowadays, but
Right. Still
still,
keeping you out.
I like to cook. I
Me
like
too.
to cook.
Right.
So if I'm cooking something, best believe I'm making you a plate.
Let me ask
So
you a
it
question.
just go ahead.
Let me and both have children and whatnot. There is, and this is off topic, but it's something I just recently. Like, you enjoy cooking. I enjoy cooking. There's something different when you're cooking for people you care about.
Yeah,
There is an emotion like that, like you have so much joy in doing it. Like when you're cooking for stuff, like you're cooking because you know you got to eat.
right.
And I was just like, I was thinking about that recently. Like, man, that is like it's so wonderful. Like I was cooking for myself when I was just here putting doing some things in the house. I'm like, man, I just feel like I'm doing this because I need to eat. Like I miss doing it for other people, and like it's just so wonderful. But what you're saying is like exactly what it should be about. That reciprocity. And I don't know who these people are that are on these platforms that have these conversations. I mean, and I say the men and the women, but for me, the women stick out because as a man, I'm thinking,
Well, because you're a man.
but no, but I'm thinking you look great, but not that great to be talking how you talking, and the sheer aspect of the I don't need no man, or I think for me, the conversation also leads into the perception that men are disposable, men aren't needed in the lives of
Best believe, because I the same situation what I said with the girl in the coworker situation. She said I don't need no man either, but then follow him around this whole job site every single day. So you are doing things without you thinking about that
right.
you do. You being contradicting.
Yeah, exactly.
We all
Thank you.
need. We both need each other.
Right,
Period. Point blank. Period.
right,
I mean, unless you got a robot somewhere in your house that you fucking and sucking and doing all this stuff by yourself,
right.
we need each other. Why are we
Exactly,
arguing with each other? Men
exactly.
talk about women, women talk about men. We both are spewing hates out of our own insecurities, our own pain in our hearts, and our own failures in past relationships and baggage. That's why we say these things. I would never say I don't need no man, because I know I definitely want a man.
Right.
Like, because this vibrator only goes so far. So it's like, so it's not, and then I want love, and I definitely want love. I want someone to hold at night. I want someone to talk to. I want someone to cook for. I want to cater because it's in my instincts to do so. And I know these things. I'm very self aware of who I am as a very uh self-aware person.
Right.
It's like sometimes you gotta look on people say look the outside looking in type of
Yeah.
thing. Things you don't notice you're doing, someone else might see it and notice, like, well, you do this, and oh, I even didn't know I did that. Yes, you can't say you don't need a man, but there's always a man in your bed. That doesn't make sense.
Cooking,
So make it
cooking.
make sense.
No, I agree, and that's why I think that I am hoping and praying that that question is no longer asked in these spaces. Also, too, and we're seeing that somewhat. I think that what is it? Tonight's conversation, like they have very realistic conversations for the most part about these topics, but so many others. I want the hyperbole, the pendulum, because even with the young woman, the plus size model, she talked about when the host asked, well, would you, basically date a man who's not making six figures? She's like, I want to be the breadwinner. I'm thinking, well, I don't want to have to pay all the bills. I'm thinking, he didn't ask you that. He didn't ask you about a man with no money. He asked you about a man who's not making six figures after taxes. And I think the conversation also goes to these extremes and not in real life. If I remember correctly, I think the average income of in America is like $45,000 average income. I think average household income is maybe a bit more 50. I may be those statistics may be grossly wrong, but I know that the average income for a single person in America is drastically under $100,000. Um, and the fact that conversation leans toward, oh, if you are Lauren, you made some really great points. So we had a bit of a video issue there, but as you see, I think both Ren and I come from a place of very realistic expectations in people and the way our world works. And the table conversation is one that is just for the internet. And that's what we're going to leave in 2025. Lauren, tell everybody where they can find you.
You can follow me on Silly_Weaver on Instagram. You can also follow me on Facebook, Running Graves on Facebook. I'm here at TikTok being banned, so I can't wait to see what's next going to be on social
Currently,
media.
Senor Biden is not enforcing anything, so he's leaving the next guy to come in to make the decision if they're going to force the ban or not. If not, everybody else is going over to China and joining Red Note. So, but make sure you check her out, support her, give her love on both her platforms and the platform she pops up on as well. Frequent podcast guest host. We can find me was over here, Webster Style Men Voice of Fragrance, Webster Style. Pretty much you type in Webster Style, you're gonna come and find me. Thank you again. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your listening ear. Happy New Year. Remember, be safe out there and be blessed.
Thank you. Bye.
Baby, this is your lovely Misty Stone, and you are watching Webster Style with me.
What anime are you going to be watching?